while we bash all this stuff out, why is it that the world keeps investing in America and the Dow keeps hitting new highs every day? Is that not an index of what people think about the economy and the future of America?
No.
Every single week, a new high.
I think we agree.
If we compare...
So what would you change? What do you want to do?
Well, I think if you only look at America as based on how the economy and the Dow is doing,
you're
forgetting about the American
because
people.
That's what lifts us
There's
all
about
up.
10% of people who are involved
so you
in
want
the
a
Dow.
crap economy instead?
Why would that be the contrast?
You would
I
rather
want
reverse
everyone to
it?
be involved in the
crap
economy.
economy.
But to say we don't need to care about Epstein because the Dow hit 50,000. We don't need to care about people's health care because the Dow.
But what does that have to do with the Dow highs?
But you keep talking about the stock market like it's the country.
No, I talk
and
about
that's
the American
not the
economy
same
in
thing.
general.
Kevin O'Leary is one of those finance bros who thinks he knows everything because he's good at gambling in the stock market. Wait a minute. The Dow's at 50,000. He's the same guy who's always like, oh, well, millennials and Gen Z are broke because they buy avocado toast. Are you crazy? I got rich because I ate ramen noodles every day. Completely disregarding economic reality about how wages haven't gone up while inflation has skyrocketed, the cost of living has skyrocketed, opportunities have diminished for people to actually get ahead. He knows these things, but see, if he acknowledged that, that would, destroy his worldview that he's so smart and so superior, because he isn't.
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does the Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
I've been pretty quiet about Pam Bondi in front of Congress the other day talking about how the Dow's up to 50,000. Nobody gives a because what you should be talking about is how you are going to investigate and prosecute any pedophiles that were running around on Epstein Island that you're affiliated with. But we didn't talk about that, did we? Oh, and what's the excuse? What was the excuse? Oh, if we prosecute everybody, the whole system would go down. Well, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like how Trump ran his campaign. Let's drain the swamp. Doesn't that sound a lot like draining the swamp? It actually is drain the swamp served up to you on a silver platter. But you're not going to take it, are you? You're going to protect pedophiles. You're going to protect pedophiles rather than go after them and hope that everybody's happy that the Dow hit 50,000. Are you out of your mind?
To use the Dow reaching 50,000 to cover up for this massive sex ring is despicable. I actually was listening to this CNN on the car radio when I heard that. I had to pull over on the side of the road because I was so upset that somebody would try to deflect what these women and children have gone through and talk about the economy to try and pump up President Trump and be in good favor with him. This was the most ridiculous thing that I think I've ever seen. And I just want to stop by saying, or end by saying, Kate, that if it were not for the survivors, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. So we need to go back
1,000% right.
We need to go back to the bravery of these survivors continuing to stand up and say, let me be heard, right? And that is what's going to bring us to the end of this story in the end. Besides MAGA now turning on the Trump administration, which is also a huge shift, which I believe is going to get us to the final answers.
And of course, we have Pam Bondi, who is being grilled by Congress and saying, like, who cares that children are being sexually assaulted and trafficked? Who cares? The Dow's at 50,000. So let's not talk about it. Let's just keep deleting the files that have Trump's name in them because he's mentioned over 1 million times. And of course, she said that she's not going to release the additional 3 million files, but I think at this point we've seen enough. However, you better watch yourself, Pam Bondi, because prison is looking quite ripe for you and your ilk in the Trump administration.
I want to just put up a poll. This shows congressional vote preference. This was at the end of January, so just a few weeks ago. Of all voters, Democratic candidate preference at 52, GOP candidate at 46. We've got a long way to go, but obviously that number would not be good for the majority.
That would not be good. I will say, as much as we love Fox News, we always think Fox News has the worst polling. Me and the president agree on that. I'm sorry.
I can show you other ones that are very similar. But since they're ours, I show ours.
Listen, at the end of the day, the overwhelming majority of people don't have investments in the stock market. And if they do, it really ain't worth nothing. You know what I mean? Because people don't have the disposable income to just invest every single month. People can't make their ends meet. You know, the cost of groceries are up. It's pretty much impossible to purchase a home. You will own nothing and you will be happy is the economic times that we're in. But Kevin O'Leary has always driven me crazy. But honestly, it's to a point now where he's just an eye roll and you don't pay attention to him. Because again, it's like if people could just save their way into millions of dollars, don't you think that would happen a lot more often? And keep in mind that every single time any type of generational boost to wealth has happened, it's been because the government has helped people get there, whether it be things like the GI Bill or any type of support that allows people to get a leg up, because picking yourself up by your bootstraps is pretty difficult when life is always weighing down on you. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump is a complete failure, and Kevin O'Leary doesn't care. It's not necessarily that he doesn't know that, it's that he's doing well, so who gives a damn? It's really tired, it's really old, and it's kind of time for CNN to stop giving people like this a platform, but of course they won't do it. So us here at TYT, we're going to keep on destroying these idiots because we live where the real people live, and Kevin O'Leary, who isn't an American, he's Canadian, has always had something to say about how Americans don't know how to save, but at the end of the day, he's just a venture capitalist. He's completely disengaged from reality, and the things that he has to say are often ridiculous.